Hello there, my spooky crew. It is I, Halloween Dan, and today I am doing a video about some more animatronics. Today I'm going to talk about some props being brought into the UK by one of my favourite online firms, Mad About Horror, bringing in some brand new props for the 2023 season. But when I say brand new, no, they're not brand new. Most of them are props that we saw last year. I did a review of them ages ago, if not about 14 or 15 months ago, so more than a year ago. And to be honest with you, at first when I saw Mad About Horror start to bring these videos out of what they're going to bring into the UK for 2023, part of me thought, I'm not going to make a video about this. I've already done this. I've spoken about these props. There's no surprise here. There's nothing new. But then I thought about it. I thought, compared to this time last year, I've got substantially more subscribers than I did this time last year. And also, not only that, but some of these things are pretty cool. Some of these things, some of you out there may not even know exist. So I thought, why not? Why not do them justice? Let's have a little look at them once again. And just for a bit of fun, I thought I'd review them as well and maybe even mark them out of 10. So let's just get into this. So very briefly before I begin, most of these are Morris Costumes props that, like I say, most of them we saw this time last year, a little bit earlier than this last year. There are some new additions, but most of the new additions I've already spoken about as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run through these really quick, almost in reaction type style, but I'm going to be reviewing them and marking them out of 10. So let's start with our first one. So we're going to start off pretty simply with the first video that Mad About Horror released about 8 days ago now, and let's have a look at the whimsical Scarecrow.
One there? Howdy, pal, and welcome to my patch.
So I saw this guy last year. He's whimsical.
I do a pretty nice job.
I like some of the things he's saying. They're pretty simplistic, very family friendly. Oh, look at my crops and all that kind of stuff. I like the crow on the arm. It's a nice little addition to this prop. Very simplistic animatronic movement. Of course, family friendly. But, you know, he's kind of cool. He's quite a big prop, so that's good. There's not a lot more to say about him. If you like your family friendly props, this guy's for you. He isn't the sort of prop I would buy necessarily, but I do like him. I think if you like your family friendly props, he is definitely up there as a good one. So he would get a solid, I'm going to say, 6 out of 10. Next, we've got one of my favourite props from last year, which is the Servo Witch Crone, which I thought was a really cool prop last year. So let's check her out.
Well, isn't this a pleasant surprise?
One of my favourite props from last year, this was. She's super creepy looking, proper witch, real witch this is. I like the way she's dressed, I like the bones around her neck. The white eyes give her this extra creepy look. And of course, she's got this servo motor action. So she's got this extra bit of movement. Her head moves. The arm movement's great. She looks like a really, really creepy witch. Like the staff with the skull on top. She's on the creepier end of the witch scale, which is an end of the witch scale I am very much a fan of.
At least your complexion would be improved.
Yeah, and some of the things she says are pretty cool too. Yeah, she's way up there for me. I really, really like this witch. I would give her an 8 out of 10. The only reason she doesn't get a 10 out of 10 from me is because I'm trying to steer myself away from witches a little bit. But in general, I do like her. I like everything she does. I like that bit of extra movement she has, definitely. And the fact that she's a creepy witch, quids in. Next, we've got one of my favourite props, the Graveyard Host. So let's have a look at this guy.
I see you're here to help dig up all these graves. Once we've risen the dead,
I mean,
they're gonna raise
I
the roof.
might be alone here, but he's a super cool prop. He is. He just... Last year I kind of was a bit on the fence about him. I loved him at first, and then later on I got kind of distracted by other things. 10-foot Reapers. But actually, he's a really cool prop. He's got some great phrases, all graveyard related, of course. Love the lantern, love the outfit, love the face, really creepy sort of half skeletal face he's got. The glowing eyes are really cool too. He's really menacing and he's quite tall. I think he's about 8 foot, so he's quite a big prop too. Big plus for me. Yeah, he is. He's a really cool prop. I think we'll leave it there. So the Graveyard Host gets a definite, I'm going to say a 9.5 out of 10. The only reason he doesn't get 10 out of 10 is because I think possibly he would be better with just a little bit, tiny bit more movement. Maybe like the Servo Witch. That extra bit of movement, if he was given it, like a movement in the head or something, would make this prop astounding. Other than that though, it's a really, really good prop as far as I'm concerned. Big, menacing, graveyard related. I love anything graveyard related. So yeah, 9.5 out of 10. Next, we've got the Rotten Harvester. So let's have a look at this.
I'm so happy with how my carnivorous crops have bloomed this year. Look at this.
This is one of the ones from last year that I don't think I gave enough of my attention. He is very, very cool. I love the Scarecrow look. He's a really menacing Scarecrow with the red eyes, kind of really scary looking Scarecrow. Certainly not like the whimsical Scarecrow. I like the little carnivorous pumpkin. I like the phrases. I like the interaction between the two. It's really kind of cool. I love the outfit. He's another really big prop too, so that's a big plus for me too. I like a big prop. The only thing I'll say about this particular prop is I kind of felt as though the pumpkin plant was kind of like a secondary thought. It doesn't look as good as it could look, in my opinion. And also, it doesn't do a lot. It just kind of growls and snarls. I know that's the idea, it's a carnivorous plant, but I thought it would be kind of fun if, a bit like Jack Stalker with his pumpkin, where they kind of interact a little bit, if there was a little bit more interaction there. And actually, as an animatronic, he's a pretty basic animatronic. Of course, the mouth moves on both of these, which is good, but I don't know, it's not as good as it could be. I'm not a big... I like Scarecrow props, but they're not my favourite kind of props. So I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 for that one. Next, we've got the Hulking Werewolf. So let's check this out. So, yeah. Very big, very impressive, very hulking werewolf. Got some great animation. I like the movement of the arms. I like obviously the fact it's growling. It's got the LCD eyes, which I love LCD eyes on props. The only downside is it doesn't, I don't know, the outfit in general, I think the shirt could have been a bit better, more sort of standout shirt in a way. And I think the animation would have been better if the wolf had actually tilted its hair back to growl and to howl. Other than that, it's a really impressive prop, and there's not much more to say about that one, to be honest. Yeah, so I like a werewolf prop, but they are always really kind of the same. You get smaller ones and bigger ones, and in the US last year you had the Home Depot 9.5 foot one. He actually did tilt his head back to howl, but he had that kind of very plasticky look about him rather than fur. So, I don't know, I'm always a bit on the fence with werewolf props. It's got to be another 7 out of 10 for me. It's not my favourite. Next, we've got the Whimsical Witch. So let's just go straight into her.
Happy All Hallows Eve.
Yeah.
That time of the year for
So,
thrills and chills.
whimsy,
Now let's
family
eat our
friendly.
sweets till we've had our fill.
The jaw movement's a bit lacking, could be better. I do like the addition of the wand. The outfit, she's very smartly dressed. It's all very well colour-coded. She's got the same nail varnish colour as the bow and the trim on the dress and the hat. She's a nice prop. I kind of like her. Again, if you're going more for the family-friendly vibe, she would fit in brilliantly. Some of the things she's saying, they're all quite friendly. Let's have a party, and it's all very magical sounding. But I think if you're going for the scarier side of things, this probably isn't the prop for you. I would give her 6 out of 10. Again, it's the same as the Whimsical Scarecrow. I'm not into the whimsy side as such. I am trying to go a little bit darker nowadays, a little bit sort of more terrifying, and she just does not fit that. Next, we're going to go for the Rotting Reaper, which is a new prop for the UK this year. I do believe it's been out in the US before, but this is definitely the first time for the UK. So let's have a look at this guy again.
You are all mine in the end. No matter if you are royalty or peasant.
So this is the first time I've actually heard what he says.
Time. There can be no escape.
Pretty cool.
Your soul is mine.
Yeah. I like the movement, very simple. Jaw movement's good, seems to be well in time with what it's saying. I like the red chest, the red skull's really cool.
Your actions have brought me unto
It's a relatively simplistic prop, but it's pretty cool. I kind of like it. I'd give him a 8.5 out of 10. Yeah, solid 8.5. I kind of like it. Very simplistic, but simplistic in a good way. I think when it comes to Reapers, like the ghosts and the ghouls, the more simplistic they are, sometimes the better they are. The more over the top they are, the less effective they are in a strange kind of way. You know, what more do you want? He's holding a skull, he's holding a scythe. What more do you want from the guy? He is a Reaper, and he's saying very Reapery things. So yeah, definite 8.5, I would say. Next is a prop that I am actually very surprisingly impressed by. I really do like the look of this guy. He's going up in my estimation every single time I see him, and that is the Floating Phantom. So let's check this guy out.
You should not have come to this desolate place.
Yeah, very cool.
Your mistake will cost you dearly.
Again, like with the Reaper, very simplistic, but very cool. It doesn't need much more than it's got. I love the simple arm movement, very phantomy, like the lantern, like a prop with a lantern. I also really like the addition of this light that's in the arm. They've got a light under the arm, which is lighting up the face and the front of the prop, giving it this really cool, eerie look. Yeah. I like the things it says too. It's a definite contender, this one. I really, really like this one. Yeah, so simplistic, but in a good way. I think it's a good level of simplistic. Possibly, in my opinion, and my opinion only, this prop may have benefited maybe from some LCD eyes. Maybe. Or, one or the other, the jaw movement. Maybe some jaw movement rather than LCD eyes. But actually, in its own right, it's pretty cool. Very simplistic, but very cool. I'm going to give him a 9. 9 out of 10. There are some things possibly that they could have made this prop better, but generally, it's pretty good. And we're going to end with a prop that I think all of you know I'm not that impressed by, but then I haven't seen it in this slightly better quality video, so I'm not going to judge too harshly straight away. And that is the Whimsical Witch. So let's have a look.
Happy Halloween! With the moon in the sky and the spirits flying high, I think it's time to celebrate!
No.
I hope your night is as magical as I am.
She's family friendly. If you like family friendly, great. If you like your witches slightly more sort of made up, great. But I just, the look of her's all over the place. The outfit's too, it's like a rainbow's just vomited on her. I don't know what that's supposed to be. The movement of the jaw is that more basic way you can see the lines. It's almost like a puppet. Don't like it. It looks like a mannequin that's just been dressed up to move. The animatronic movement is like this really juddery, very stupid movement of the arm. It might as well not even move, to be quite honest with you. And then the movement of the head and the movement of the mouth. But no, she's just too. She doesn't seem to know what she is. Is she family friendly? Is she not? Is she a witch? Is she a sorceress? Is she Rainbow Bright? I don't know what she's actually supposed to be, but she's not a witch that I would be investing any money in anytime soon. And I don't rate her. So I'm going to give her a pretty pitiful 2 out of 10. Because unless you really, really are just doing a family friendly, even if you were doing a family friendly, I don't think this would be for you. I think it's really very basic and a bit, I'd be annoyed by this more than anything. If I'd spent like £150, if not more, which it probably is, I'd want it to do much more than what it's doing, and it's just so basic. I don't know. I don't like it. So yeah, 2 out of 10. Anyway, guys, we managed to get all the way through all of those props there. I can't even count how many we actually did then. There was quite a few. Some of you may not agree with how I rated them. Some of you may not agree with what I think about them, and that's fine. If you like these props, especially like the Whimsical Witch, which I do not rate, let me know in the comments. I'm more than happy to be told why it is actually a really good prop. But nah, I stand by most of what I've said. Some things I think could be improved upon, but most of what Mad About Horror are bringing into the UK I think are really, really good. So yeah, it looks like a really another good year, and I'm still hopeful that later on in the season we might see some brand new things, some things that we haven't yet seen come to the UK market through places like Mad About Horror. I'm hoping maybe for some of the newer Morris Costumes animatronics to appear on the UK market this year, but only time will tell. We will have to see. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching today, and I will see you in the next one. Keep it spooky. Bye.